Hello, today I would like to share a few thoughts about hospitality. So on Sunday, I taught the story at our Sunday school of Abraham and his 3 visitors and how we showed hospitality to them. And I asked the children if they knew what hospitality meant, and that was one of the lessons from the story. But it's quite good when you have to teach a Bible story or teach principles from the Bible at children's level, because it makes you just think more simply about it. And I can't remember exactly how I explained it to the children, but I think I said it's about caring about other people and not just thinking about yourself. But I was thinking it's also about sharing. Abraham shared what he had with these people, even though he didn't even know them. They were strangers. But usually when we think about hospitality, somehow I always have the picture of having people come to your house, giving them meals, or having people stay with you. And one time I listened to a sermon about hospitality, and because we don't have people at our house very often for meals or to have people stay, I was saying, this sermon's just going to make me feel guilty. And yet it was a sermon about the Good Samaritan and how he was hospitable to the man that he met along his way. And to me, that was a real eye-opener and kind of showed me that hospitality is not just about in our homes. It's not just about having people come to our homes for meals or for having people stay. It's about caring about others wherever we are. And so hospitality can look different for all of us because we all have different opportunities. We all have different abilities. We all have different circumstances. So it can look different for each of us. And it can look different at different stages in our lives as well. Sometimes things change and we can't do what we used to do. But we have to do what we can do. And it's about loving our neighbor. And with the story of the Samaritan, the neighbor can mean stranger as well. So not just the people we feel comfortable with, the people that we know well, but anybody we come across. So I was, there are people in the Bible. I was trying to think of who was hospitable in the Bible, and I'm sure there are many examples, but I was thinking of Boaz. He shared food with Ruth. She was a stranger, someone from a different place. Obviously the Good Samaritan, Joseph. So yesterday I was teaching at preschool the story of Joseph when he was in prison, and those 2 men had a dream, and he was hospitable in that he cared about them and he asked them what their troubles were, and then he listened to them while they shared with him, and then he was able to help them. But I think that's hospitality as well, just caring about others and being interested in other people, taking time for other people. I think all of Jesus' life, it is an example of hospitality, about caring about others, having time for people. But even when he died on the cross, that was hospitality. He was giving his life for strangers, for his enemies. But he was caring about others even then. And the dictionary definition of hospitality, or on Google at least, is the friendly and generous reception and entertainment of guests, visitors, or strangers, or the act of being friendly and welcoming. So that's not just a home, should be wherever we go. So I have just written down some ideas because, sometimes we feel guilty because we're not doing what we think of as hospitality, or maybe we're not doing what other people are able to do. Like, I grew up in a home where we had people stay with us a lot of the time. We often had visitors, and we often had people come for meals as well. And yet in my home here, we don't have people come very often for meals, and we don't really have room for people to stay. So we can't, it doesn't really work for us. And yet we do have a place downtown where we cook meals for the community once a week. So that is also a way of showing hospitality. But it's not in our own home. But it's a place to, care about others and to cook for other people. So, we all have different opportunities. But one way is giving meals. Even if you can't have people come to your house, maybe you can make meals for other people. There's all different kinds of ways. So there's like with physical things, like with food, but also sharing what God has taught you. That's a way of sharing spiritual food, sharing what God's given you, sharing encouragement, So it's sharing spiritual food. So that's one way of being hospitable, is sharing the Bible, or sharing your faith, or sharing the encouragement God has given you. And even like what I'm doing right now, that's a form of hospitality too. Kind of inviting you into my home, sharing what God has been teaching me. That's another way of hospitality as well. I think somebody actually said that on a YouTube video about, making a video is hospitality, because it's like you're going to that person's home while they're making that video. Sending people messages. So yeah, you can be hospitable to someone on the other side of the world or in a different town by sending them a message or a phone call. Also listening, like what Joseph did, listening to the men's dreams, but just taking the time to listen to somebody, listen to their troubles, is also a way of showing hospitality. Sending mail, sending cards or letters in the mail. On Friday I was having a bit of a hard day. So last week Lydia kind of got sick again from her infection, and we got some more antibiotics from the doctors. She started to do better. So on Thursday she went to school in the morning as well as on Wednesday. But on Thursday she seemed a lot better, and so on Friday we were going to send her to school and try the whole day at school. But on Friday morning she woke up feeling all sick and miserable again, and I was so disappointed. And somebody messaged me, and I was telling them about it, and later on they just out of the blue turned up at my house with some flowers and some biscuits, which really surprised me. But that's hospitality too, just caring about others and showing interest in them and showing them that you care. There's all different ways to do it. Taking the time to talk to somebody, so it could be at church or it could be anywhere you go, just taking the time to ask somebody how they're doing, to talk to them. It could be visiting somebody in their own home. That's hospitality as well. People might not always be able to come to your home. And if you lived far away from town, like if people can't come to your home because you live a long way away, maybe you can visit them as well. Like there's just all different ways of being hospitable. Maybe it's helping somebody or giving them practical help. Maybe it's giving your time or your energy. Maybe it's even looking after children. So yesterday at preschool, me and 2 other ladies looked after about 9 children all day. And that's hospitality too, looking after children, caring about others. And even if we can't do any of these things, we can always pray for people. Praying for people is also hospitality. We're caring about them and we're bringing their needs to God. So that's something we all can do at any time. But also it can be at church as well. So showing kindness to strangers. It's hard to, be friendly to people that you don't know, to talk to strangers, but that's a way of showing hospitality too, is to be welcoming at church to new people. Making them feel welcome. So those are a few of the ways that we can be hospitable, and we all have different abilities, different opportunities. So the way you show hospitality might not be the way that I do, and the way I do might not be the way you do. That makes sense, but we all have different ways of doing it. But what matters is that we love our neighbor and we care about other people and we share with others what God has given us. So I hope that's a challenge or an encouragement and a help to you. And I find it quite freeing to think of hospitality as just loving your neighbor, because it doesn't have to fit into a box of how you do that. But whatever opportunities we have, we can be hospitable and love our neighbor.